Alex Revell, firstly, let's start with the news this week that Sam Dreyer, Timmy Smith and Alfie Williams have all signed professional contracts with the club. It's always great to see the academy supplying the first team with those players, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that the three boys you've just spoken about have worked extremely hard, I think, over their scholarship. And I think that probably for Alfie and Sam and Timmy, that I would say that their performances probably in the last 3 or 4 months have really made everyone's mind up. I think that it's always hard to see, there'll be certain exceptional players that take your eye and players that develop. And obviously Robbie and Jordan and Ronnie and everyone in the academy is obviously keeps us updated with everybody that's doing well and their performances. But with those three, it's really exciting. I think that whenever you get given the pro, it's a big moment in your career, and it's just the start for them. Alfie's been training with us and obviously involved on Tuesday. Shows probably his performances in the 23s that the academy have worked hard to put on has helped, because we've been able to see him against older players and he's really developed. And Timmy's been training with us every day now for the last probably 2 months. And improving all the time. And Sam Dreyer as well has been up most weeks. We have a day where they come up. So it's been really good for them, really good for the academy to have players coming through, which is ultimately, why they work so hard down there to produce players that we can develop here and hopefully get in the first team when we feel they're ready.
Now, on to this coming Saturday. It's another team fighting for automatic promotion at the top. It's another opportunity for the players to show just how good they are. What are your thoughts going into Saturday's game?
Well, I mean, we know it's going to be obviously a difficult game, more so not just because obviously ability-wise and where they are in the league, but because of the occasion. We know that with a win they can get promoted. We know that that they're going to be really excited for the game. It also obviously breeds nervousness, I suppose, because you know that the result will matters for them. But I think for them that they've been up there all season, and I think that they deserve to be there. I think all season they've shown what organisation, togetherness, kind of picking the same team most weeks can do for you. So I think that it's important that we go there. Obviously, we had a really good result against them at home, which really started our run of games, I think, and it was the start of us kind of showing, how good we can be. But we were excellent that day, and the main reason for that is because we worked extremely hard off the ball, and when we got the ball, we were really positive with it. So we've got to make sure we go there tomorrow. It's a derby. Unfortunately, there's no fans. It'd be great to have fans tomorrow because obviously they'd give us that backing as well. And we know we've got to go there and put a performance on. Players have got to put a performance on to prove that, obviously, one, that they want to be here next year, and two, that they're good enough to play against teams at the top of the league, which is where we want to be. So there's a lot to play for. We're going there to make sure that we go and get the right result.
And fixtures against Cambridge have always been ones that the fans look out for on fixture release day. We know what the occasion could mean to the hosts. Does that just breed more motivation in that group of players?
It has to. I think that we know the importance of the game. We know it's an important game for us. We've lost games in the last week that we don't believe we should have lost in terms of the way that we were. I think that our performances have been, I think that the problem was when we played Bradford, I felt that obviously we probably felt we couldn't make the playoffs. And I think although we were silent about that, I think that there was that hope and that the role that we were on, we were going to get there. And I think that when we drew that game, I think everyone just took a bit of a deep breath, and we have to make sure now that these results now turn, because we don't want to forget about the great run that we've been on and also how far we've come. So we have to put on these next 3 games are really important for us as a football club to make sure that we put in some really good performances to get those wins back, to make sure we finish the season really positively. So none more so than tomorrow. So yes, it takes an extra importance because it's a derby and we know what's at stake. But ultimately, we have to have our own standards, and that losing isn't something that we want to do at this football club, and we have to make sure we get back to winning ways.
Do you think the last 3 games could be down to potentially the players letting their foot off the gas? I mean, they worked so hard in that run from Christmas time up until a few weeks ago, and now we're safe and the playoff hope is kind of diminished. Do you reckon that's why the last 3 games have been so tough?
No, I think that there was no way that they're taking their foot off the gas. I think that we have to remember, that we have, this season we were everyone's favourites to go down. That's what we were. Every bookmaker's favourites to go down. So every player's had to deal with that all season. And obviously to go on the run that we did, and the amount of effort that each and every single player, staff member put in to make sure that we are in League Two next year, is a huge. I've got a huge admiration for every single one of them for what they're doing, because they've put in so much. And I think that we got to a point where, winning, and when we drew, we were disappointed. So we know we were in a good place. And then we played Salford. And I just think that game, we just probably weren't as good as what we've been. We should have beaten Mansfield. We have enough chances to win that game. Definitely, looking at that, there's no way we deserve to lose that game. And then I think that on Tuesday, first half, we were too negative in what we did. And second half, it was dominant, but without really kind of testing their goalkeeper, but we had the better chances. So we have to make sure that we stay on the gas, like you said, and we have to make sure that we stay positive and going into these games, because we've come such a long way. No matter what these results have said in the last 3, we've come such a long way, and obviously now we have to think about, obviously next year we do, building for next year, talking about players that are out of contract, where do they fit into what we want to do, but ultimately there's a huge responsibility to make sure that we finish really strongly for the pride of the football club, for themselves, and for to show again how far we've come.